Good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. What I'm going to be speaking about is Earth, a flat Earth or Earth round. There's quite a lot of controversy over the both. I was brought up, obviously, we were all brought up that Earth was a globe. It was staying this globe. There's globes made and things like that. That's what we were taught at school. Now, the concept of a spherical Earth was established by ancient Greek philosophers and astronomers, with documented mentions appearing in the 5th century BC. Early ideas were proposed by figures like Pythagoras and Plato, but also provided strong empirical evidence, such as Earth's round shadow during a lunar eclipse. By the 4th century BC, this knowledge was widely accepted among educated people throughout the Middle Ages, and obviously we were sort of taught about that as well. Now, the 5th ancient Greek contributors, obviously, it's the earliest documented mentions of a spherical Earth appear in writings of Greek philosophers. The 4th century BC Aristotle provided key empirical evidence, including observing that Earth's shadow on the moon during a lunar eclipse was always round. Plato wrote about spherical Earth, and his former student Aristotle developed the idea further. So obviously there's obviously, it's, for me, as I grew up knowing that this, it was, we had stayed in a round, we got taught it was round, right, at school. And also it was a sphere. We were never taught it was flat, but some of what they're saying from the other side, when you listen to them, it goes, that makes sense as well. So in a way, both make sense in a way, but is it kind of today when when you're looking at the water and you're looking straight out at the eclipse, but when the sun goes down, is that not telling you something? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't study these things in either side. And obviously, people are very, very invested in things like that. So, I mean, around 240 BC, this word is going to do me, because also I've never, it's this Greek word, Eratosthenes, an ancient Greek mathematicians. Why couldn't they come out with nice normal names? It would be lovely. Established the roughly spherical shape of Earth and accurately calculated its circumference. Obviously, also the spread of knowledge, Hellenistic astronomy. By the 3rd century BC, Hellenistic astronomy solidified the spherical shape of Earth as a physical fact, and also calculated circumference. Obviously, then you had, I'm trying, oh my god, that's terrible. You think I'd know this because I learned it at school? We all did. but um, but the guy with the apple. That's see that way when you want to think of something and it just, you've got it in your head and you just can't, it doesn't come out the other out your mouth. That's that at times. The Middle Ages, the knowledge of Earth's sphericity, it never faded and was widely accepted by major medieval scholars, contradicting the modern myth of a flat Earth, darkness among them. Confirmation in modern times. While the Greeks provided strong evidence, direct photographic evidence of Earth curvature wasn't available until the mid-century. With the advent of space satellites, see, I'll go back to uh, today with satellites, things like that, right? And the moon and things like that. I'll give my thoughts and things like that, right? And I really, really I have got my thoughts on um why I think need to be the moon. I really do. It's oh, I think need to went to the moon. I think what they were doing was Russia and about we were fighting about with Russia, but what they're still doing. But to me, that's another video. Um, a lot. I mean, as I say, there's a lot of controversy. It's obviously saying when the majority of people know the Earth is round, was it that uncommon when Columbus travelled to America in 1492? See, in Columbus, didn't cover minute. See, that's another video, right? Seem to be getting into I'll be in another video. But it's you had all these people. I mean, NASA is for some reason it's sitting to no to allow me in certain things. You go back to AI, it just shows you. It'll show it allow the shape of the Earth. Who discovered the fact that the Earth is spherical? It's a common misconception that Christopher Columbus discovered the shape of the Earth. I mean, that was well before the shape of the Earth was discovered, well before Christopher Columbus. He sailed and didn't discover America. He wrote that he didn't, because if you look, it was the Vikings. People really nearly do the history. A lot of the history they tell you are not the truth. In reality, many people knew that the Earth was round before he ever set sail. The ancient Greeks were some who first realised that the Greeks were very intelligent, and so was the Egyptians. They were very intelligent people as well. In the times, not saying people are now, but they were very intelligent, very, very intelligent, and so that's where a lot of your knowledge, and when you want to find out things, that's where it comes from, is to do with the Greeks, the philosophers, and things like that. Like Roman philosophers, you get Egyptians. So, but as I say, even though they say the things dig about, um, somebody was writing and what I figured out, did Jesus know Earth was round? I don't think Jesus cared, because he was a healer and didn't believe, if you read it even in the Bible, he didn't believe in churches. Um, it is in sort of following the shape of the Earth. In reality, many people knew that the Earth was round before they ever said. The Greeks in the Malag and Elcano expedition was the first to provide practical proof. But before all that, people used to think Earth was flat. Some still do. They really do. does the shape of Earth matter? I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, to me, there's a lot more land than what these governmentals know that are telling us about. Tell you that right now. Tell you that right now. But because when you look at things, you're like, where's that, and that? And how can we only go here, there, and the other place? But can we go to these other places? So always question things. As I said, question everything. Um, question absolutely everything. Obviously, it's easy to take the shape of Earth for granted. After all, it's not something that we can see with our own eyes. We can't see what it is. So we would, how would people know that it was round, like a rounded shape? Or how do they know that it's flat? So you could argue that point as well. How do you know these things? And where do you get it? Where is it actually truly evidence coming from? We have only got these people's, um, because obviously it's like, so I remember some flat earthers were actually invited to Antarctica, and some earth rounders were invited. And I think the rounders turned up, but flat earthers didn't for some reason. So, um, so what was the point supposed to be proven? I don't know. Because Antarctica never used to be full of ice. It was all Greenland. It's known that saying obviously the sphere is one of the most important discoveries in history. Not only does it help us understand our place in the universe, but also has a wide range of practical applications. For example, map makers can use the knowledge that the Earth is round to create more accurate maps. But then you could do that with flat Earth. So, and I'm no for one another. I just grew up knowing the Earth was a sphere. So, but it's I'm up for listening to people's opinions and why they think one way and why they think or why other people think the other way. So I'm very interested. I'm interested in learning these things. And architects and engineers can use it to design buildings, bridges that can withstand high winds and earthquakes. Why is it buildings? How can they say they do that when they don't last survive that? I mean, if you done that or an earthquake on, say for instance, the pyramids, bet they withstand an earthquake. Tell you that right now, because the material they use now is rubbish, and they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. Obviously, it's designing buildings and bridges that can withstand high winds, but in short, understanding the shape of the Earth is essential for both scientific and practical purposes. For who? Obviously, for centuries, people have looked up at the night sky and wondered about the shape of the Earth. Early cultures saw the world as a flat disk. I mean, now it's saying even a lot of cultures back then was talking about Earth. So obviously people came out and went, no, it's a sphere, and that's it. And the sphere seems to have stuck. But so it's a back and forth. Is it? See, unless we go proof, we could prove it ourselves and not rely on the people telling you this, then it'd be great to find out, because we've only gone the word of these people and not the word. As I say, this is a discussion that would be like, I would like to hear from both ends, because I am extremely, extremely, extremely interested in things like this. Um, not just this, but a lot of other subjects as well, to do with like history and things. So, but this kind of stumps me a bit, so I'd like to learn more. Um, Obviously, as the ancient Greeks, many people believed that the Earth was spherical. Greeks had advanced science and mathematics, and the Greeks were fantastic with science and mathematics. But obviously, and that's what they used to support their claim was round. They used to, I mean, listen to the word, they used it to support their claim, which means they couldn't prove it either. The same with the flat earthers, they can't prove it. So it's, unless there's definite proof that Earth is flat. So, and again, I'd like to learn for each side why they think like this, because don't listen to what governmentals tell you, or their scientists tell you, or NASA tells you, because obviously they all work for the governmentals. So don't listen to them. Do your own research on these things. But I'd like to know for somebody that has nothing to do with any of these people and actually learn some knowledge, because I love learning things like this. Again, because it's to do with history. It's Newton. Isaac Newton was the one with the apple. To do with gravity. So, but even Isaac Newton could get things wrong. When we're only human in a vessel, and we can make mistakes. But and when these mistakes, if they don't get corrected, so obviously Aristotle argued that Earth was a sphere based on his observations of the stars. Now, if you look out, you don't really see a lot of stars now. It's because obviously they're spraying the skies and things like that. And it's a known fact is in their website they are doing things like that. Also, it's in Amsterdam spraying skies, but they name it something different. So he believed that the stars were all the same distance from the Earth. Now, how did they know what distance from the Earth to here is? How could they tell? And that's the same way. How can flat earthers tell that as well? So it's when they give you it's so many billions and trillions of miles away from Earth. How do they know that? Again, how do they know that? It's like, so we're only going off of these people's words, right? So, who discovered Earth was round? Although there was some evidence to support a spherical Earth, it wasn't until the 3rd century BC that a Greek mathematician named Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the planet with remarkable accuracy. He is credited as the Greek who proved the Earth was round. Since then, our understanding of the Earth has grown exponentially, but with all debt of gratitude to those early pioneers. There's so many. Did they get it right? A lot of them got it right. A lot of them, because as I say, we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. Obviously, and looks like secrets of the planet's shape. Without their contributions, we might still believe the flat is Earth. See, this is in near words. Strophosthenes of Cyrene was a Greek mathematician, poet, athlete, astronomer, and geographer. In his most famous achievement, he calculated the circumference of the Earth. He was born in 276 BC in the city of Cyrene, which now is known as modern day Libya. At least I can pronounce that word properly. I mean, it's like the mental words and names that people were given back then, or some of them still give to their kids, because it's like in the West, it's like, why is it everybody's name's the same? Aristophanes was an extremely extremely intelligent and curious person. He studied un, under some of the most famous philosophers of the day, including Arctitius of Samos and Strabo. He travelled widely, visiting Egypt, Persia, and India. In 240 BCE, he said that at noon on the summer solstice in Alexandria, the sun was directly overhead. He knew that in Aswan, about 800 kilometres to the south, the sun would be at an angle of 7 degrees from vertical at the same time. His education was in philosophy, but his geographical treatise, Geographica, established him as his father of geography. But measuring the angle of the sun's rays at both locations and using some simple geometry. I mean, remember they didn't have a lot of things. They were only going by eye, really by eye. Because they didn't have like, levelers or anything like that we do now. Not even when these flats were built during the First World War. That the flats that I'm in and a lot of the flats that are surrounding me were built in the First World War. And I only know that because obviously the fly flying, but I can't stand flies. I mean, there's only one, but they annoy me. It's their wee legs and do my head in. But I know, obviously, as I said, for these flats, because obviously my granny said that because she lived about here during the Second World War. She was born during it. So I know a lot. It's what I think down in my grand's family, this is why I love history so much. But it started intriguing me about flat Earth and Earth round a lot recently, because obviously I was only taught one way. So, and that's why I'd like to learn so much more. And if anybody's educated, a lot more educated, because obviously I'd like to learn and explain your reasoning on it, things like that. I'd like to learn from both sides, because I bet both sides have got some similar answers, to be honest with you. Aristophanes was able to calculate that the Earth had a circumference to about 28,735 miles. This was remarkably close to the modern value of 2,450 miles. Aristophanes discovered that the Earth is spherical, helped to lay the foundation for modern astronomy and geography. It also allowed for more accurate navigation at sea, which proved essential for the growth of the global trade and exploration. For many his contributions to science and civilization, Aristophanes is rightly considered one of the most important figures in history. I mean, it is so much, so much. Again, I think I'll do another video on this. I'll stop here just now because also I've got my grandson and I'm a bit he and ho, and I want to kill that fly as well. It's just in case he wakes up, so I want to be on the alert. Just in case he cries. He's only a 1 year old, so you know. Oh, but sending love and light and good night. Now, if anybody's got anything or any comments remember, we're all having an opinion on this, right? So we're all learning from each other. And if you are knowledgeable in these things, please leave your comments down below. I'm very up for learning things from different people, because if it wasn't for people, I wouldn't be on here. So yeah, so yes, love and light, and good night.